Hey guys, hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know it's a little bit past 9 o'clock, and I know it's a little bit late here. Usually I do these early, but there's a good reason for that. I was in Grayville watching junior high volleyball with my cousin Ashley and her family. It has been about maybe 2 or 3 years since I seen them, and Ashley and I grew up together and as kids, and so it was great to see. I have a cousin who plays on the Grayville Junior High Bison volleyball team, so I was able to watch her play and hang out with my cousin Ashley and her family for a little bit. So it was great seeing you guys. So that's why I'm doing this a little bit late. Um, but I know that the weather is the focus here, and it's something that I've been, keeping an eye on for the past few days. And I have some thoughts about that, along with, why I think this is important. So we'll be quick about it here with this live stream. Live chat's open, by the way, if you guys want to hop on, if maybe you have a question, maybe if you have something that you want to get out there. But it's great to have all you guys here on the live stream. And again, this will be archived as well once I end it. So I want to go ahead and let's go to Paducah, the National Weather Service in Paducah website. And let me go ahead and that way you guys can see this here. So this is what is showing for the Fairfield area. Again, this is the National Weather Service office in Paducah. So, Thursday is the day that we're looking at the possibility of strong to severe storms. And I just want to bring this to your attention here as we have a 70% chance of showers and storms. Now, understand that we could have, that first round, that first wave of rain, possibly some storms mixed in, move through in the morning. But then in the afternoon, that's when it looks to be favorable to where we might actually see some development. We'll get to that in a moment. But notice here how it says showers likely, possibly a storm between 1 and 4 p.m. Now, one of the things about the National Weather Service, what they released was the timing of the storms if we were to get any. And it looks to be about the 1 to 5 p.m. time frame. That's what I have been seeing. Now, as I have told you guys before in the past, is that storms can go wherever they please. They can speed up, they can slow down. It's not like, they're traveling down the road and, oh, I have to make a left right here or I have to, make a right. No, they don't have to do that. They just go as they please. And so this is what I'm talking about here in regards to this. And then you look at Thursday night, you notice how a chance of showers and storms before 9, and then those chances died down. So if you look at this, this is going to be a daytime event. Now, if you recall, back in the spring last year, I know it was a very active spring for us here in Southern Illinois. I remember at work one day, had a storm come through. Fairfield was underneath a tornado warning, heard the sirens go off. We all took shelter at work. I remember that very well. I can't remember what day it was, but I do remember it was back in the spring when we had an active severe weather season. And so one of the things here is that this is a daytime event. It's likely going to be a daytime event. So for the storm spotters, I think of those like law enforcement, the EMA, whatever visual they see of the action, the activity, they're going to be able to see it tomorrow afternoon. As I've always said before in the past, it's better to have a storm in the daytime as opposed to night, because that way you could see what the storm is doing. If it's nighttime and let's say, it had a tornado, it'd be difficult to see that tornado at night. So you get what I'm saying? It's like the visibility, being able to see what the storm is doing. That's why I say the daytime is better for this. Now, we'll tell you as you look at, going back here to this, looking at the Fairfield area weather, Friday, sunny, high of 52. Now, tomorrow's high is forecast to be 68 if we get there. But then you look at Saturday, high of 45, and then Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 38. So we start to see that steady cool down trend following tomorrow. Now, today, the weather was nice, about 70, 71. It was breezy, but it felt good. And this is the first day of the year. First day of the year where, I didn't have to put on a coat in the morning. So it was actually really nice. It felt good. Now, with that being said, let's take a look here at the weather story. And let me go ahead. I want to see if I can maybe. Okay. I want to zoom out a little bit here. So this is the severe weather outlook for Thursday. Now, I understand this is posted at 2:23 in the afternoon. It could change come tomorrow morning, but it's been, I think, pretty consistent so far. So isolated scattered storms are possible. Few tornadoes and damaging wind gusts are the main threats. Now, be weather aware and ready to act. And have multiple ways to receive warning information. As you can see right there with the tornado, the arrow about the severe threats, right about again the orange between low and medium. Hail lower than that, about the yellow, but the wind looks to be the primary threat, about medium. And then flooding, there's a low threat for that. Now you see right there with the slight risk, you actually see just east of St. Louis, we'll say the metro area of Sparta, Carbondale, Marion, Mount Vernon, us here in Fairfield, Olney, Evansville area. So, and it's actually goes beyond that, but we're in a slight risk. Now, I want to go ahead and say one thing of note about what I was looking at this earlier, and it's so far it has not gone up to the next threat level, which would be a level 3. That would be enhanced. That to me is encouraging news. Does it mean that it could be enhanced? Absolutely, it can be. But so far, it hasn't gone up to that level 3, level 4 criteria. So far, it's at level 2, which is slight risk. Now, I think that is a silver lining because we have seen in the past where, there's being forecast for severe weather. Obviously, today is Wednesday. So, when they were talking about this Sunday, late Sunday and early Monday, this is what was popped up when they released. But I tell you what, though, I am encouraged by how it's still saying slight risk so far. But again, that's just something that I noticed here with their weather story. As we take a look here at the severe storm timing and confidence, as we take a look at that, high confidence Thursday afternoon, we talked about during the day Thursday. Hourly details are murky, but it looks like to me, again, it's more like a daytime threat for our area. Confidence in storm coverage continues to dwindle as the event approaches. Much of the area may only see an isolated storm, but the hazard type is high. Damaging wind gusts and tornadoes will be the main threats. Also, large hail chances have increased slightly as well, but it looks to be more like the wind threat along with the tornado threat. But again, can't rule out some large hail. Now, if you look over to your right at the probability of precipitation forecast, and this is for tomorrow on Thursday, you look at Carbondale, 65% at 1 p.m. Harrisburg, 65%. Marion, Mount Carmel, about 65%. And then after that, it drops off sharply. So again, we're talking about that 1 to 5 p.m. range is when we're going to see it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at the next slide. And again, I think it's interesting with the timing of this. So let's talk about here that this is going to be for the storm planning timeline, which I think this is a great slide that Paducah put up here. You have a few days out. If the forecast calls for severe weather in a few days, start preparing now. Make sure you have emergency supplies. Know your safe places. Have a family communication plan. And then one of the things I want to mention about this is that with this being, we're going to be seeing more severe weather here as the year unfolds. It's a good idea to check and see about the severe weather preparedness plan about, what do you do in the event of a severe thunderstorm warning? What do you do in the event of a severe thunderstorm watch? Tornado warning, tornado watch. What do you do about that flooding? What do you do about that? Since we're in the day before, the forecast accuracy continues to improve. And that is certainly the case. It has been consistent. Adjust the plans. Make sure your phone can receive weather emergency alerts. Ensure your shelter is clean and accessible. And the day of, remain vigilant and aware of any active watches. A warning may be issued at a moment's notice, and that is true. So remind your family of the communication plan, know how to evacuate and or get to safety from wherever you are. And when a warning is issued, you may have only seconds to take action. And I'm not saying this, and I know that the National Weather Service is not saying it to scare you. It's saying that to be prepared, to be ready. And that's what this is about. This is about that. And then, like I said, so the storm planning timeline, that's what that is. So I want to read to you some additional information. I was going to read this at first, but I wanted to get to the Paducah side of things. But this is what the Storm Prediction Center had released. And I'm going to read this here. I have it in front of me. They released it late this morning, actually. Severe thunderstorms are possible Thursday afternoon to early evening across parts of middle Mississippi Valley and lower Ohio Valley. A few tornadoes, large hail, and damaging wind gusts could occur. A strong weather system will move from the plains into the Midwest on Thursday. As it does, it will pull in warmer, more humid air and strengthen a surface low-pressure system. This setup will create favorable conditions for severe storms. By Thursday afternoon, storms are expected to develop across eastern Missouri and western and south central Illinois, then move quickly east. While overall instability will be somewhat limited, conditions will still support strong storms. Some storms may rotate and become supercells, which can produce large hail and possibly a few tornadoes. Strong wind gusts will also be a threat, especially if storms merge into a larger line. Storm intensity is expected to gradually weaken later Thursday evening as the system moves east into the middle Ohio Valley. Now, residents such as us in our area should stay weather aware and monitor updates Thursday. So that is what that's what the Storm Prediction Center released later this morning. And with that being said, here again, severe weather preparedness plan. This would be a good time to go over that. If you don't have one, it's easy to come up with one. Know what to do. And as I always say, you don't think, you act when you have a situation like a tornado coming. We remember what spring was like last year, how it was active. Illinois was one of the leading states in tornadoes last year. We remember how active the spring was. We remember the EF4 down there in the Marion area, how close it was to us here at home. So I'm telling you, that is what, for this severe weather threat, again, it's a slight risk, but as I always say, we just can't let our guard down when it comes to it. So again, have a severe weather preparedness plan. Always be aware, always be alert. Let me pull this up here just to show you guys, for those of you who just hopped on. But that's what I have to say at the moment. I'll be at work. So you guys monitor, keep an eye on the radars, keep an eye on the skies. Check local media. I know social media would be huge. It always has been. And social media, as much as I say it's a cesspool, and it can be, but there are times where it's useful. And this is one of those times where it is useful. So again, just be prepared, always be ready, and have a severe weather preparedness action plan in place. So guys, that about does it here. But again, be weather aware, stay safe, and just keep an eye on the National Weather Service. Paducah is our sector for the St. Louis area. It would be St. Louis. If you're like at Effingham, for example, Charleston, Mattoon, that would actually be the Lincoln, Illinois radar site. I know we got people were in Clay, Richland, and Lawrence counties. That would be the Lincoln radar site there. So anyway, guys, have a wonderful and pleasant rest of your night. Take care.